Good evening, and welcome to Election Night in America 2024. Democrat and Vice President Kamala Harris is facing off against Senator from Texas and Republican Ted Cruz. Kamala Harris, again, is the Democratic nominee. She's the incumbent vice president under President Biden, who has not competed in the Democratic primary. She's a former senator from California. She was a 2020 presidential candidate. She's a liberal, classic liberal Democrat, and her approval rating is at a low 41%. Ted Cruz is the Republican nominee. He's the incumbent senator from Texas. He was reelected in 2018, just narrowly in some say a safe red state. However, it is not proven that in recent elections. He just won over Beto O'Rourke. He believes that the 2020 election was stolen by the Democrats. He's an avid Trump backer. He was a 2016 presidential candidate. He also has a low approval rating at 43%, mostly because he just isn't a pretty likable guy, what most people say. And he has promised to shave off his beard if elected. This attracts many voters to his side. Now we have our 7 p.m. poll closings in Vermont, Virginia, South Carolina, Georgia, Kentucky, and Indiana. In Vermont, 3 electoral votes, one of the most liberal states in the country. Kamala Harris is the projected winner. In Kentucky, 8 electoral votes. Ted Cruz will win here. And in Indiana, 11 electoral votes. The home state of former Vice President Mike Pence. Ted Cruz is the projected winner. And in Virginia, 13 electoral votes. We can now project that this will go to Kamala Harris, even though they have a Republican governor, Glenn Youngkin. This will be a Kamala Harris state. In Georgia, 16 electoral votes are too close to call. 87% of the vote is in, and Harris leads by 0.2%, a very narrow lead. 16 electoral votes here. Now we have South Carolina, 9 electoral votes will be projected to go to Ted Cruz. And now we have our new electoral vote count, where Cruz leads with 28 electoral votes to Harris's 16. Now we have our 7:30 p.m. poll closings in 3 states: Ohio, West Virginia, North Carolina. Ohio and North Carolina are going to be very critical for both candidates. In Ohio, 17 electoral votes are too close to call. This was a Trump state in 2020. 75% of the vote is in, and Trump leads by 3.6%, a pretty low, lower than people thought that he would lead in here. In West Virginia, 4 electoral votes. Ted Cruz will win here. And in North Carolina, 16 electoral votes are too close to call. 82% of the vote is in, and Harris leads by 0.3%. Now we have our new electoral vote count. Cruz still leads with 33 electoral votes to Harris's 16. Ohio, North Carolina, and Georgia are still up for grabs. And now we have our 8 p.m. poll closings in many states: Maine, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, New Jersey, D.C., Maryland, Delaware, Illinois, Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, Florida, Missouri, and Oklahoma. In Mississippi, 6 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. He's the projected winner here. In Alabama, 9 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. And in Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is the projected winner here. In New Hampshire, 4 electoral votes. This was a state that went to Biden by 10 points in 2020. However, it is too close to call. 80% of the vote is in, and Harris leads by 5.1%. In Florida, 30 electoral votes are too close to call. 83% of the vote is in, and Cruz leads by 3%. This was a state that shifted towards the right from 2016 to 2020. Rhode Island, 4 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. In Connecticut, 7 electoral votes. Vice President Harris is the projected winner here. In Missouri, 10 electoral votes. Ted Cruz will win here. And in Illinois, 19 electoral votes. A big electoral vote pickup. Kamala Harris will win here. In Oklahoma, 7 electoral votes. Sorry, you can't see that count, but it is 7. Ted Cruz will win here. Tennessee, 11 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. And in D.C., 3 electoral votes. The most liberal district in the country. Kamala Harris will win. In Delaware, the president's home state, 3 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. And in Maryland, 10 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is the projected winner, along with New Jersey, 14 electoral votes. And in Pennsylvania, 19 electoral votes, a crucial swing state. It is too close to call. 83% of the votes in, and Harris leads by just 0.05%, extremely narrow. And in Maine's 1st district, 1 electoral vote will go to Kamala Harris. In Maine's 2nd district, 1 electoral vote will go to Ted Cruz. This is a more rural region. And in Maine at large, 2 electoral votes. Maine's popular vote will go to Kamala Harris. And now we have our new electoral vote count and electoral map. Harris now leads with 91 electoral votes to Cruz's 77. Now we have our 8:30 p.m. poll closings in 1 state, Arkansas. In Arkansas, 6 electoral votes. Ted Cruz will win. Now Harris still leads with 91 electoral votes to Cruz's 83, a pretty close race. Now we have our 9 p.m. poll closings in many states: New York, Wisconsin, North Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, New Mexico, Kansas, Michigan, Minnesota, South Dakota, Kansas, Wyoming, Arizona, and Louisiana. In New York, 28 electoral votes. Vice President Harris will win here, a big pickup for her. In Kansas, 6 electoral votes, Ted Cruz will win. And in South Dakota, 3 electoral votes, Ted Cruz is the projected winner. And in North Dakota, another 3 will go to Ted Cruz. In Nebraska's 3rd district, the most rural district, Ted Cruz will win its 1 electoral vote. And in Nebraska's 1st district, Ted Cruz is the projected winner here. In Nebraska's 2nd district, the most densely populated district, 1 electoral vote is too close to call. 89% of the votes in, and Cruz leads by 1.2%. This was a Biden district in 2020. In Nebraska at large, 2 electoral votes are projected to go to Ted Cruz. In Arizona, 11 electoral votes are too close to call. 76% of the vote is in, and Cruz leads by 6.7%, a huge lead at this moment. This was a Biden state in 2020, so if it goes to Cruz by this much, it will be a major shift. In Colorado, 10 electoral votes, Kamala Harris is the projected winner. And in New Mexico, 5 electoral votes, Vice President Harris will win here. And in Wyoming, 3 electoral votes, Ted Cruz is the projected winner. In Louisiana, another 8 electoral votes, Ted Cruz is the projected winner. And in Texas, Ted Cruz's home state, 40 electoral votes are too close to call. 78% of the vote is in, and Cruz, this is a terrible call for Cruz. Cruz leads by only 1.9%. He was projected to win his home state by wide margins, but Harris is putting up a good fight. And a massive number of electoral votes. In Minnesota, 10 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. And in Michigan, 15 electoral votes are too close to call. 83% of the vote is in, and Harris leads by 0.8%. This is a state where Harris is popular and Ted Cruz is not. In Wisconsin, 10 electoral votes, too close to call. 90% of the vote is in. Cruz leads by 3.2%, another crucial swing state. Now, Harris leads with 144 electoral votes to Cruz's 110. Now we have our 10 p.m. poll closings in Montana, Iowa, Utah, and Nevada. In Utah, 6 electoral votes, one of the most conservative states in the country. Ted Cruz will win. And in Montana, 4 electoral votes are projected to go to Ted Cruz. In Iowa, 6 electoral votes are too close to call. 92% of the vote is in, and Cruz leads by 2%. Now we have Nevada, and its 6 electoral votes are too close to call. 95% of the vote is in, and Harris leads by 1.2%. This was a Hillary state in 2016 and a Biden state in 2020. Now Harris still leads with 144 electoral votes to Cruz's 119. Now we have our 11 p.m. poll closings on the West Coast. A very good poll closing for Harris. It will definitely bump up her score in Idaho, Oregon, Washington, her home state of California, and Hawaii. In Idaho, 4 electoral votes, Ted Cruz will win. But in Oregon, 8 electoral votes, Vice President Harris is the projected winner. In Washington, 12 electoral votes, Kamala Harris is the projected winner. And in her home state of California, a whopping 54 electoral votes, Vice President Harris will win this huge chunk of votes. Now in Hawaii, 4 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. And now Harris leads by wide margins with 222 electoral votes to Cruz's 123. She leads by 101 votes. 99 votes actually. Now we have our 1 a.m. poll closings in Alaska. In Alaska, 3 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. And we can now project that Georgia and its 16 electoral votes, a Biden state in 2020, will go to Kamala Harris. It will stay in the Democratic crucial state. Now Harris leads with 238 electoral votes to Cruz's 126. In Texas, we can now call that Texas and its 38 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. This is a major pickup for the Cruz campaign. So he has put out a win here. Harris will not win it. However, in Nevada, 6 electoral votes are projected to go to Kamala Harris. And in Iowa, another 6 are going to go to Ted Cruz. Now Harris has 244 to Cruz's 170. In Florida, and its 29 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. This is a major pickup, a crucial swing state that has been out of reach for the Democrats in the past few years. In Ohio, 18 electoral votes. Ted Cruz will win here. This is a state that didn't shift much to the left from 2016 to 2020. And now in Arizona, another crucial state, 11 electoral votes are projected to go to Ted Cruz, a Biden state in 2020, but a Trump state in 2016. Now Harris has 244 to Cruz's 228. The vote has narrowed up big time. In Michigan, its 16 electoral votes will go to Vice President Harris, a major pickup, and she was expected to win the state. In Nebraska's 2nd district, the Omaha district, 1 electoral vote we can now project it will go to Ted Cruz. And now Harris has 260 to Cruz's 229. In Wisconsin, we can now call it that Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz, a major pickup here. He definitely needed Wisconsin to win. And in New Hampshire, this is a major flip, saying that Hillary Clinton won it in 2016. New Hampshire, and it's 4 electoral votes, not many electoral votes, but very symbolic. It's 4 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz. This is a major flip. But in North Carolina, it's 15 electoral votes will go to Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris has invested heavily into the state of North Carolina, attempting to flip it from 2020. She expected that she had Georgia in her hands. She campaigned all around North Carolina and really got the African American population out to vote. And Kamala Harris has been elected the President of the United States with 275 electoral votes. Kamala Harris is the projected winner. But we can now call that the state of Pennsylvania, and 20 electoral votes will go to Ted Cruz, but it does not matter. North Carolina has won Kamala Harris the election, and there's nothing Ted Cruz can do now. And Harris has won the election with 275 electoral votes to Cruz's 263. Kamala Harris really needed North Carolina and Georgia to win, and she got that. She was expecting a win in Pennsylvania, however, but it doesn't matter. She won North Carolina and Georgia, and that has set her over the top. Now all that's left to do is to be sworn in on January 20th, 2025.